The wait is finally over. While the ton whispers of many secrets, none are quite as enchanting as the one we are about to reveal. Today, we move beyond the pages to build the very heart of our journey, the grand journal cover and its crowning jewel, the Parisian tassel. Are you prepared to give your memories the magnificent home they deserve? Then let us begin our final construction. Welcome back to Rosewood Manor Prints. I'm Asara, and I'm so delighted to have you join me for this pivotal moment in our Paris Promenade. We have wandered through the 4 signatures of light and romance, and now it is time to bind those memories in silk, lace, and exquisite fabrics. Today, I shall guide you through the effortless process of creating a cover that feels like a vintage treasure found in a hidden Parisian boutique. And of course, no promenade is complete without a bit of flair. We shall craft a tassel so spectacular it would even make the queen envious. Before we continue, do mark your journals. Our promenade gathers twice weekly, every Tuesday and Friday. By joining our society, you aren't just crafting, you are building a legacy. I promise that when our work is complete, you will hold a fully realized masterpiece in your hands. To keep our journey seamless, I have curated a special playlist for you. Consider it your private library, where every past lesson remains at your beck and call. To keep current on the whispers of the ton, simply subscribe and strike the bell. It is, after all, the only way to ensure the footman announces the arrival of our next chapter the moment it reaches the parlor. If these designs have captured your heart, the Paris Promenade collection awaits you in our Etsy boutique. Or if you are viewing this on your parlor screen, that is your television, let this QR code be your magic key. Simply aim your camera and click. The boutique doors are already open for you. Now, shall we get started? So, here is what you will need to make your journal cover. You will need some cardboard or some chipboard. I'm using chipboard that I usually order online because it's pre-cut to the perfect size. You will need 2 pieces that are 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. When you order them online, they are pre-cut in that size already. And then you will need a piece for the spine part. And depending on how wide you want to make your spine, it will determine the width of this. I'm choosing a 2.5 inch spine. So this is going to be 2.5 inches and 8.5 inches. I find that a 2.5 inch spine works well for me when I use 4 signatures for my journals. But of course, whatever size suits you will work as well, of course. Then you will need a pencil. I'm using a bookbinding tool like this one. You can find that below. Some lace, scissors. I have large scissors to cut fabric with. And I have small scissors to cut my lace with. And then I have here my useful kitchen scraper that I love using for journal cover making, but also to clean my desk, craft desk with. So when I'm done with my project for the day, I simply clear the desk really fast and easy. This will come in very handy when we will make our journal cover. And then I have here 2 pieces of our add-on kit that will go very well with our journal cover. So this will go on the front of the cover and this will go on the back of the cover. And then I have here some art glitter glue. You can also use Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 beacon glue. I prefer this glue because it doesn't smell. I have here also some special glue to use for my different embellishment for my stones that I'm going to put on my journal covers. So for any heavy duty applications like of small stones or just thicker things, I like to use that to apply to glue on my journal cover. I also am going to use a longer ruler. So for this journal cover, I'm using a really beautiful fabric that I found. So this will go on the front of the cover, and this will go on the inside, this typical blue French stripe. I think it's just very Parisian, as well as this design here. So this fabric bundle is also linked below. It's just such a useful size. It has just a perfect width for journal cover making. I really love the 18 by 22 inches. It just gives me enough room to work with, to pick the right pattern for the covers. And it comes, I think usually it comes with like 6 different variations of the color themes. You can pick a blue colors or pink colors. In our last journal, we used the pink fabric pack, and it just works well. It's nice and thin. I ironed it before, so that way it looks nice and neat. So let's get started. This is the design. So I'm going to flip this over. So this is the back of the fabric. So I cut this piece of fabric about 17 inches this way and 11.5 inches this way. So that gives me a nice border around my chipboard here. So anywhere between an inch and a half around this layout is fine. It does not have to be precise because we are going to fold this over. You just want to have enough so that you can fold it over and glue it down properly. But anywhere between an inch and a half perhaps is a good measure. Next, I'm going to lay out the chipboard evenly here on this fabric. What is important here to keep in mind is the distance here between the spine piece and the back and front cover. So you don't want it to be too big. So this here is too big. And this is where this little tool comes in handy. And I have this linked below. So this helps to measure the ideal gap between these pieces. So this goes here, and then you simply would push it like so. So this is one, and then here we have the next one. And so that's the ideal distance between the spine and the covers. And so that way it bends properly. It has enough play, but it is not too loose. So next thing I'm going to do is to trace around these pieces. And just to make sure that everything is straight, I'm going to put my ruler down here. Next, let's glue our pieces on the fabric. So I'm using the art glitter glue. This is a 8-ounce bottle with the big nozzle. Next, we want to glue the edges over. And again, for this, I like to use this tool. And so I'm going to cut the corners off to avoid any bunching up here. So this tool really is very helpful because it allows for the ideal angle here, and also it allows for a little bit of fabric here to fold over to make a clean corner here. If you notice that your boards, your chipboard or your cardboard is starting to warp a little bit, don't worry about that, because we will put glue on the other side again to put the other fabric on, and then it will even itself out. So next I'm gonna cut the edges off. Next, let's glue the edges over, and you want to make sure to pull it tight. So, there it is. Now we have our cover here. So the next step is to decorate the cover, because sometimes the ribbons or the laces are folding over and they can all then be covered with the inside piece. So the next step is to decorate the front cover. And this is the point now where we can decide which side goes upwards and which side, in which direction to face the cover. Do we want it to face like so? And also remember, this is going to dry, so we won't see much of this. So I'm going to use this side here. And when I decorate the covers, I like to put some books in, so that makes the journal decorating a lot easier. But do not put away your lace just yet. While the structure is sound, the true magic lies in the dressing. Stay with me, for in just a moment I will show you the secret to layering your laces and ribbons and fibers, to finish the cover and to create a tassel with movement and soul. You don't want to miss the ingenious way we attach our charms to catch the Parisian light. And so, let's begin with the closure. So for this journal cover, I want to use a ribbon closure that hugs the journal. So it simply goes all around, and then it is tying here in the front. And usually for these kind of closures, I use about 48 to 50 inch long ribbons. So that's kind of like my rule of thumb, really, like, let's say 50 inches of ribbon to make it easy. And this allows for plenty to wrap around and to then tie a generous bow. You can always cut off the ends a little bit, but also remember, your journal might become bigger. So that way you have enough room to play with and you're not restrained by the closure, really. So this is what I like to do. So I measure half of this ribbon, and this is going to be the middle here. So I'm going to put a little paper clip here so I know where the middle is. And I have here another ribbon that I like to layer over it, like so. I find that satin ribbons and pearl details or crystals add a touch of elegance to the design of these covers. And I just realized that I needed to add some lace here first. So the good thing about the art glitter glue is that it doesn't dry quickly. So it allows you to make adjustments, thankfully, in this case, so I can still add my other lace that I had planned actually to go along this side here. So let's do that now. So I like to use clips to hold this in place. And then I want to fold these over. And this is why we are gluing the inside fabric last. It helps a lot to smooth things out. And we'll do the same here. Simply put a little clip here to hold things in place. So we want just enough to be able to pull the fabric. So while this is drying, I'm going to cut the inside fabric. And as I mentioned earlier, this fabric bundle, the fabric of this fabric bundle is a little bit on the thinner side. So I usually like to double up, or you can also use any other kind of neutral cotton fabric or anything else underneath. But since I have this here, I simply will double this up here. So it looks a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this, I'm going to turn this fabric around like so. So I have the other side on this here. And I'm going to measure. So I have these clips around here and I want to make sure that I get the actual size I need. So I moved it down a little bit to take my measurement and make my mark. And the same here on this inside, on this part here. So that way I know for sure. So I went ahead and I cut out the inside fabric. So I have doubled up on that. And now it's time to glue it down. So now that we have our inside fabric attached, oh, it looks so fresh and crisp. Beautiful. And so now we are going to continue to decorate our front of the journal. And so what I have in mind here for this front cover is to add this beautiful image of the couple in Paris. And I found these old fleur-de-lis. I'm going to link something similar below. I couldn't find exactly the ones, but there are similar ones down below. And then I have here this heart-shaped pearl. Oh, so pretty. Right. So we are going to continue to use the art glitter glue for this. So here is the layout that I have planned. And speaking of planning, so it turns out that this particular ribbon is not necessarily agreeing with our art glitter glue. So I flipped it over and I noticed that there were all these stains from the glue. And so what I did was I simply cut 2 little pieces here, and I dabbed just in the center a little bit of glue, of the art glitter glue, and I'm going to add these little roses that I had not planned on, and I also decided to add this little bow. So in our videos, I don't want to cut out little mistakes that happen, because these are all either things that we can learn from, or it creates something new. And this is my approach to all of these little mishaps. They usually create something even better. So I had not planned on these little pearl roses here, and I think it looks so much nicer than what I had planned initially. So we can plan our craft projects a little bit, but also allowing creative flow to enter and to spark something even nicer. And for these pieces here, I'm using this specific adhesive for these more heavy-duty items. I'm so happy how this turned out, actually. Yeah, it's all in perfect alignment now. So while this is drying, let's make a quick tassel for this beautiful journal. So you will notice also that this here is complete for today. We will not continue adding the ribbon here, because in our next video we will be sewing our signatures into this spine here, and so we want to leave this open, and then once the signatures are sewn in, then we will attach the ribbon to it, and we will also attach this piece to the back. The lace is already done, so we have these little corners here, which is great. And oh, I just love how this turned out. I can't get over it. It is funny sometimes. I was trying to plan everything and prepare everything for today, and it just didn't feel like 100%. And this little mishap added the finishing touch to it. I love it. So let's put this aside and let's make a tassel. So I always like to first finish the cover design, so I know the colors and everything, and then I can coordinate the tassel with that. And so here I have some ribbons. I have some of this beautiful ribbon here, and some of this, some lace ribbon as well. So I have here a piece of embroidery yarn, and I have also a longer piece of embroidery yarn here. And the way I measure it is usually I double the length of the journal spine, and that way, because it folds over, and then I can adjust the length afterwards. So this is double the length here. And when choosing the ribbons for the tassel, I like to use different textures. Like we have lace here, we have satin, we have this ruffly ribbon here, we have embroidery yarn. And so that is a nice way of really adding to the look of it. And then once we have the ribbon laid out like so, and you also will need one of these rings. This is for loose leaf binding. So when you look online, you can look for loose leaf binder rings, and you will find this. And then here we have also a large lobster clasp for this cover here. You also want to have this piece of embroidery yarn ready. And so all we do is here, we go and grab all of the ribbons like so and lift them up. Oh, missed one. There we go. And let's close this. And so you want to keep holding it. If you want to arrange things still, you can still do that. All right, like I have here. And then we take the embroidery yarn like so and wrap it around here like so. And I like to make a double knot. So, and this can also dangle downward like so. And then next, I like to add a little bow here with it. And so I like to repeat this ribbon because it is in the cover. So I think that will go nicely. So let's just see. Yeah, let's be generous here with our ribbon. Can always cut more off, you just can't add on. So here we go. And so what we're gonna do here is we simply there we go. Beautiful. Oh, isn't that adorable? All right. Next step. So we want to add some charms to this. And for that, I want to use the embroidery yarn here. And I have here these Paris charms. And I want to add some of them here. So you can use a needle or you can use something like this here. So we're going to start with this here. Simply move this. There we go, that's one. And so what I do here is we simply put a little knot here. Right, and then last we have a little umbrella. So, yeah. And here's our beautiful tassel with our dangles as well. There she is, a cover fit for a diamond of the first water. I hope your hands feel inspired and your hearts feel radiant after today's session. But our stroll through Paris is not quite finished. Join me this Friday where the scandal truly unfolds. We shall finally sew our 4 signatures into this beautiful cover and add the finishing touches to those tiny delicate details that turn a journal into a masterpiece. Until then, keep your secrets close and your hearts open. Yours in lace and ribbons and with much love, Asara. Good day.